everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have done a labour and delivery story, and I've also done a something about giving birth and recovering. I can't remember what it's called, but I will link those both down below. And now I wanted to talk to you about having a newborn. Obviously it is gonna be hard work, and I know everyone's gonna expect that, but it's not at first. Like I grew up with kids around me my whole life. I've got a lot of siblings. I've got a good handful of nieces and nephews. I did childcare and development in my studies. You know, I've worked in nurseries and stuff. I've always been around kids my whole life. But no one really, I don't know, you don't expect having a newborn to be the way that it is. At first, you are going to be tired. You're going to be so tired. But eventually, your body catches up. And it's not too long before your baby starts sleeping through properly anyway. Some babies can sleep the whole night through from 6 weeks. My cub he's 11 weeks now. And he's been sleeping through the night for the past 2-3 weeks. Yeah. And so we can go to bed. Like I keep him up with us. And we don't go to bed until about 11-12ish, but he will sleep right through until 8 or 9 before he wakes up for a feed, and then he will also go back to sleep and sleep through again until about 10 or 11. So, you know, it's not that long that you're going to be getting up and doing all those night feeds for. Obviously, some babies, it takes them a while, but a lot of babies are quite good at it. But when they're first born, they have no concept of day or night. So they just sleep whenever they want. The first 2 weeks are absolutely fantastic because all your baby will do for the first 2 weeks is sleep. They will literally wake up to eat and then almost immediately go back to sleep. A lot of the time they will sleep while they're eating. So you do have the time to sleep, but people say sleep when the baby sleeps, but you can't get anything else done. Like if you went off that logic, like they say don't worry about the house, you know, but you can only really leave the house for so long. You can't live in absolute tip forever, like, and babies are messy, okay? You will realize, like, you wouldn't think that something so small can create, and the worst part is the baby isn't even creating the mess. You are creating the mess, but it's because of the baby. It's because obviously they need changing a lot. You'll probably change their outfit a couple of times a day, from like pajamas and regular clothes. They will pee on things, they will throw up on things, they will slaver all over things, they will poo through everything. And you won't even know how it's possible for something that small to make that much mess, but it happens. They are fairly messy. And so because of that, your house will be an absolute tip. And, you know, getting some sleep when you can but I never slept when he did. I just got on with the housework and with I have to do uni work as well and cooking. You know, these things, they're not gonna do themselves. But at the end of the day, it's down to you. Do whatever you feel is best, whatever you think is right for you. Like, no one can tell you what to do or how to do it because it's your life. And it's just whatever's easier. You're going to be quite emotional the first few days after you give birth. It wears off after about 3 or 4 days. You'll be quite weepy. You'll cry over literally everything. Most of the time, it's a good thing. Most of the time, you're just crying because you're like so irrationally happy. Everything makes you cry. But sometimes it's not. I think after maybe the 2nd or 3rd night, the baby got colic quite early on. And, you know, it was nothing that we did, but he was just a colicky baby. Sometimes it happens. And I think it must have been the 3rd or 4th day, and he just cried all day. And I was absolutely exhausted. And I just went to bed and just cried for about an hour. But it's okay. Like, it is hard work, and it takes a while to get into a routine and know what you're doing, because having a baby is just such a dramatic change to you. Like, you've never ever been responsible for a person the way that you are now. And newborns, they can't do anything themselves. They depend on you for everything. So you always have to be there. And it's hard, and it does take its toll. But obviously just keep an eye out for postnatal depression. But again, it's normal. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It's normal. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. But yeah, so babies can be quite prone to colic. There are medicines that you can get over the counter, but if you don't think that that's working, then you can always just take them to the doctors, and the doctor can prescribe you something a bit stronger. Do check the packaging though, because some medicines are okay from birth. Some medicines are only okay from 2 months, and some are only okay from 3 months. Sorry, I've got the baby. And he's currently eating, so yeah. So do make sure you check the packaging. Constipation can be a problem for babies, but just keep an eye on them. You can do things like tummy massages. If you spin their legs like bicycle kicks, then that usually tends to relieve it. There's a few other little things like that you can do. Warm baths. Babies can also be really prone to reflux, and that's exactly what happened with our baby. And he didn't just have normal reflux either, he had silent reflux, which is basically when, so reflux is because for some reason human babies come out of the womb not fully developed, and we're pretty much the only species in the world that do that, which I find quite bizarre. But all of our organs aren't fully developed, which includes your esophagus and your diaphragm and stuff. So when babies eat, a lot of the time the food just gets pushed straight back up. It's literally just milk. Like, it's not even proper vomit or anything. It's actually just milk. But when it starts to happen a lot and they're not holding anything down, that's basically reflux, and it is uncomfortable, it does hurt. And with silent reflux, they get the pain from throwing up, but they can't actually throw up, so they don't get that release. So they're just always uncomfortable, always in pain. There is no relief from it whatsoever. So yeah, like, he just cried all the time. Whenever he had a bottle, he would just scream, because eventually what happens is they start to associate having a bottle, just food, if they're breastfed, it can still happen. They just associate that milk with the pain, and so just won't eat. Most of the time, so long as they're still putting weight on, the doctors aren't worried about it, and they'll give you some medicine and send you on your way. But it is a very, very, very common newborn issue, so just be mindful of that. Babies don't need a lot. Like, the few things that you do need, you need a lot of, if that makes sense. Like, obviously clothes, nappies, wipes. Absolutely stockpile those things. I know that it sounds obvious and you're like, why are you telling me this? But I mean, we had a lot of clothes because I come from a huge family, and everyone was so excited about there being a baby in the family. And my partner, he's basically the only baby in the family, the child, not my partner. And so everyone was so excited and just bought all sorts of stuff for us, and he had so many clothes that it's not even possible for him to get through them all. Most of the clothes that he has, he only wore once, because he just had too many. But when we brought him home from the hospital, we had loads of wipes, but I feel like we could have done with stockpiling more nappies. We had a lot, but you'd be amazed at how many nappies a baby will go through. You can do at least 8 to 12 nappy changes a day, and it can be more. So you will need a lot, and if you get them all early, if you get them all when you're pregnant, then you're prepared and you're not going to have to like rush out to the hospital, to the shop or anything like that. It just makes your life a lot easier. And muslin cloths, do not underestimate the power of muslin cloths. They're amazing, and get tons and tons and tons of them. So we had something like 10, and they were thrown up on and slathered all over, that much that sometimes we were going through like 4 or 5 a day. When you've got a newborn, you don't have time to wash clothes every single day, or even every couple of days. When he was first born, I don't even think I did any washing for like the first week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. I did not wash a single thing. So yeah, just make sure that you have plenty of things like muslin cloths and spare bedding. Your baby really only needs clothes, nappies, wipes, muslin cloths. You don't even necessarily have to get a pram if you don't want to. Some people just get a carrier and just use that from birth. Again, check which one you use, because not all of them are suitable from birth. And the same actually goes for prams, not all of them are suitable from birth. But some people just get one or the other. You don't really need to do all of their bedroom furniture. You don't need to get a changing table if you don't want, like, you can do it on top of your own drawers or on top of a bed or the sofa or even the floor. You don't need to have a changing table. Obviously the baby will need drawers because you're going to need somewhere to put the clothes, or a wardrobe, but you don't need both. You don't need to get a cot for them straight away. They can't go in it until they're at least 6 months old. So you only need either a crib or a Moses basket to start with. We actually have both, but we co-sleep. So he actually sleeps in the bed with us. I originally did it because when I came home from hospital, because I was doing it when I was in the hospital, mostly accidentally. Like, I was so tired after giving birth that, like, I would give him his bottle and just sit and cuddle in bed with him and then just fall asleep. But then I realised that it was actually a lot easier to do that because I had stitches. I didn't want to be getting up and then having to go and pick him up out of the crib and then bring him to sit on the bed with me and feed him. Like, it was a lot of work to do that. With him being in bed with me, I could just roll over and feed him. It was easy. So he has a crib that I think he has probably spent an hour of his whole life in. He goes in it if I'm busy doing something and I have to put him down, but he's not really a baby that likes to be put down. So he just cries a lot. So it's just easier to feature him in all of the videos. And I really don't think you guys are going to complain about seeing a baby because everybody loves babies. So, yeah. He has a Moses basket in the living room, just, you know, so I didn't have to bring it up and downstairs every single day. And again, he doesn't bother with it. If he does go down, he prefers to be in a swing. But, I mean, it's up to you. Like, we started out with the basics, but a lot of people bought us loads of stuff, so we ended up with more stuff than we needed. You don't even need a baby bath. You can just put them in the bath and obviously hold them, or go in the bath with them. I find it a lot easier to do that, but, like, they don't need a ton of stuff. But I think the biggest thing about having a newborn that you need to remember is that there is no such thing as a perfect parent. You can see, you know, all these movies, you can look at other friends that you've got, they might seem perfect, but they're not, and they are probably looking at you and thinking the same thing. You know, you can look at friends, you can look at other family members, or just people that you know, and just think, like, how are you so calm and cool and collected, and, you know, this person seems like they've got everything, you know, in order and in check, and everything's just, like, perfect and working out for them, and you can just feel like a total mess, and, you know, just really unorganised and nothing works out for you. But, like, it's just how it is. Like, some people, you're probably thinking the same thing about someone else that they're thinking about you. Things always look different from the outside than they feel on the inside. Your life might just seem a total mess and everything's turned upside down since you had a baby, and not necessarily in a bad way either. But, like, it's quite hectic. Leaving the house, it used to take me like 45 minutes to get ready and be out the house. Now, some days it can take me 3 hours, depending on how fussy he wants to be. And then you've also got to get the baby ready as well. It's not just as simple as getting you ready. You've got to get the baby ready, you've got to pack their change bag and everything, make sure you've got, like, enough nappies and changes of clothes and enough bottles. So yeah, everything takes a lot longer than it used to. There's no such thing as a simple trip to the shop. You know, you can't just go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna nip around the corner and get some milk. Like, no, you can't. It's not that easy, because now you've got to get the baby ready and put the baby in the pram, make sure the baby's wrapped up enough. Like, we had a winter baby, and so then you're always worrying about whether they're too cold, if they're too hot, if you put too many layers on, if you haven't put enough layers on. Like, you're gonna worry about everything, but it's fine. It's normal. And it will pass. One day you're just gonna wake up and you're just gonna be like, there's no point in stressing over everything. And there really isn't. Like, the majority of the time, it's fine. It's almost always fine, and you are doing a good job. So just don't worry about it. You're just making your life harder. So yeah, if there is nothing else that you take from this video, just remember that you are doing fine. And just don't worry. No matter what you think other people might be thinking about you, or what you think that other people are being better parents than you are, they're not. Like, there's no such thing as being a perfect parent. There's no like standard. Nobody parents exactly the same way. There is no one right or wrong way to do things. So just wing it. That is literally all you can do as a parent. Just wing it, because what works for your kid isn't going to work for 10 other kids. And what works for these 10 other kids probably won't work for your kid. So yeah, just wing it. And yeah, make sure that you watch my other videos. I will link them in the description below, like I said. Sorry for being really poorly, but yeah, it is what it is. And keep an eye out for my other videos, but if you want to see anything specific, then just let me know and I will try and do that for you. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!